All right, so good morning, everyone, and welcome to Howard County's Department of Fire and Rescue Services James N. Roby Public Safety Training Center. We are here for the graduation of our internal paramedic class 10. Yes, exciting. So at this point, what I'd like to do is invite our graduates to enter and have a seat in front of us. We can give them a warm welcome if you'd like. Fantastic. Have a seat. So we have a fantastic program lined up for you. There's a lot of history, and there's a lot of hard work that goes into a day like today. We are certainly proud of the 6 people you see sitting in front of you. There's the accomplishments is more than just taking a class and getting a good grade in class, as you will hear. These folks have dedicated effectively the last 18 months of their lives to this program. And they are extraordinary for it. So, of course, that doesn't happen without a great amount of support from a number of entities. And we have the pleasure of extolling the virtues of those individuals and groups as well. So, without further ado, I would like to get us started in our program. And I'd like to welcome our fire chief, Chief Lou Winston, to the podium to make introductions and opening remarks.
Good morning, good morning. What an exciting day. Again, I am Fire Chief Louis Winston, the Fire Chief of Howard County Department of Fire and Rescue Service. I want to welcome you all to the James Roby Public Safety Training Center for today's graduation of Paramedic Class 10. I want to give a special welcome to our distinguished guest, County Executive Dr. Calvin Ball, Chief Administrative Officer Brandy Gantz, the Deputy CAOs Jamar Harry and Raul Delarame, to our friends from the U.S. Virgin Islands Fire and EMS Department, we say welcome, and we're so grateful to have formed this wonderful partnership with you all. Please know that your students represented your department very, very well. I had the opportunity to spend some time with them, and they're certainly an asset to your department. Finally, welcome to all the family, friends, and members of our department. To our students graduating today, I extend my hearty congratulations. You've spent over a year studying, practicing, learning, and today you have finally arrived at the finish line. I'd like us all to take a moment to acknowledge this amazing accomplishment by giving them again a round of applause. As paramedics, you take on the added responsibility of being a lead provider on many EMS calls here in Howard County with our regional partners and at your respective agencies. I'm honored by your dedication to fill such a vital position within your department and community. I have no doubt that no matter what the emergency, you will showcase the top-notch customer service and technical ability that truly makes Howard County EMS clinicians the best of the best. And being the best of the best comes because of the great instructors that we have. So thank you to lead instructor Robbie May and the team here at Education and Training. It is certainly due to your instruction and guidance that the students have made it here today. We are fortunate to have such great instructors who play a vital role in the success of our students. Finally, you enter today as students and you leave as paramedics. As such, you inherit a new leadership role as a mentor for your colleagues and a newfound trust from your patients. As you embark on this journey, keep our department's mission to educate, protect, and serve close to everything that you do, and it will certainly steer you in the right direction. Congratulations again to Paramedic Class 10. And thank you for your hard work and commitment to providing high-quality EMS services to ensure the safety of all those that we serve. So congratulations again.
So already we're starting to get a sense of what a monumental occasion this really truly is. And to continue our fantastic remarks from our speakers, I'd like to invite Dr. Calvin Ball, our county executive, to the podium.
Good morning. I am so honored to be part of this auspicious event. I'm very proud of our Howard County Department of Fire and Rescue. Oh, sorry. Let's see. Was that where it was? All right. I'm so proud of our Department of Fire and Rescue Services for not only providing our very own paramedic program, but frankly for all of the work that you do to ensure that we are a safe place where people are safe and feel safe. This comprehensive program offers a collegiate level of material and an extensive field internship so that our graduates today are cleared to serve as paramedics. The program is the most extensive educational endeavor delivered by our department and as Class 10. The Howard County Department of Fire and Rescue Services paramedic program has graduated 85 paramedics. Each year, each of our very own trained paramedics have 1,000 life-altering contacts with our community. Just think about the impact. 1,000 life-altering contacts. And we are so thrilled to have each of you join this critical work to save more lives and help people feel more safe. I also want to thank the U.S. Virgin Islands Fire and Emergency Medical Services. We have been so proud to partner together and are elated to jointly support two of your own, Joy and Jalen. It has been a special and unique collaboration that we hope continues in the future. Paramedics today provide care to the people of Howard County and beyond that no one could have imagined even just a few decades ago. Over the last year and a half, this class has gone through nearly 2,000 hours of intense coursework in medical emergencies and trauma emergencies. They've studied anatomy and physiology, advanced life support skills, pharmacology, pathophysiology, pediatrics, and special populations. They've worked so hard and learned so much. Your efforts have been extraordinary, and I look forward to great things from each and every one of you. Today is a big day for the graduates of Class 10, but also an even bigger day for the spouses, partners, family members, and friends of those who have supported our graduates throughout this long process. It is a day of joy and celebration. It is your day of joy and celebration. I applaud everyone here for your dedication. Paramedics, our fire department's leadership handpicked you because they saw something in you. They saw that you can and you do connect to our community. We have a diverse community, and we need inclusive public safety leaders like you to educate, protect, and serve our community. And right now, I'm looking at the future of our public safety leadership, and all of you right here are the best of the best and top-tier first responders, and please know that you make me proud, you make Howard County proud. Howard County is a great place to live, work, play, and an even better place to serve. And I want to take a moment to talk about what it means to serve. To serve Howard County goes beyond responding to an emergency. We are an active community that seeks knowledge and implements bold solutions. Your service may come in the form of education, Stopping by a school to speak with young people or teachers or participating in a community event is just as important to our community as responding to that emergency call. Your service may come in the form of mentorship, learning from other paramedics, or assisting someone else struggling to learn your profession will only make this department and our community stronger. Your service may come in the form of protection. As firefighters and paramedics, you will put your life on the line to ensure others' safety, but your education, your training, and your experience will help you protect all. Again, to the family members and loved ones of Howard County's newest first responders, it goes without saying, but you will serve too. The long days and extra shifts and sleepless nights are sometimes tired days, but we recognize and we thank you for your service. Your investment in our fantastic graduates and our community is something that is going to reverberate positive ripple effects in so many people's lives, and you make a difference. Thank you and God bless.
Okay. Next up, I'd like to invite Dr. Matt Levy, our medical director, Office of Medical Director for Howard County Fire and Rescue.
Well, thank you, Chief, and good morning, everybody. And please allow me to also extend my welcome to our distinguished guests, to families, to friends, to our colleagues, and most importantly, to members of the graduating paramedic class. Take a breath, guys. You did it. Okay? It's a special day. It's a special day, and it's a day of celebration. And when we gather together for days like this, we should all remember that these are the happy times. These are the highlights, and we should enjoy and embrace those. You have worked so diligently, so hard, and I've seen how hard you all have worked over the past years to get to this point. This has been an important milestone on your journey. It's not the destination. Remember that. We'll come back to that later. It's the journey. And as we stand here in this first week of July, there's a lot of symbolism. See, in medicine, the first week of July is a rite of passage. It's when new doctors become interns, and new interns become residents, and new residents become attendings. And in this case, paramedic students become paramedics. And you are part of that family, not just the fire department family, but the family of medicine, a bond that's incredibly strong. And indeed, this represents a rite of passage. It's a rite of passage as you step forward from the role of student to professional, to embrace the responsibilities, to be empowered with the knowledge and skills that we've given to help you in this most noble of professions, and to help people during their deepest and most scariest moments. The journey hasn't been easy, and I've watched each and every one of the members of the graduating class work so diligently and so hard, and no matter what challenge was put in front of them, they've persevered. You've overcome these challenges, and you've experienced such tremendous growth. And today is a day of celebration where you're rewarded for those efforts. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say, have already all passed your National Register exam on the first attempt, which is virtually unheard of for paramedic graduates. It's a very big deal. It's a very big deal for sure. The journey's been demanding. Rigorous hours, countless trainings, scenarios, hours of study. I can't tell you how many times I'd walk in here just to stick my head in. And what was interesting is early in the class, I'd stick my head in, and there'd be a whole list of questions for the doctors on the board that they would write down. And towards the end of the journey, I'd stick my head in, and you know what? They'd say, no, doc, we're busy studying. And I said, okay, I should probably be in a meeting someplace. That's fine. Okay. But your dedication, your commitment, above all, your compassion that we've seen firsthand doing patient care will serve you and our community well. These qualities will help you enjoy not only a very fruitful career, but make a meaningful impact in people's lives. So we're not just celebrating your academic achievements today, but rather your readiness to face whatever challenge holds in store for you in the future, both in the back of the ambulance and also in life. You are indeed the lifeline for those having the worst day of their lives. You are embraced and empowered by the community and are given access to the most precious and in some cases embarrassing information of people's lives. And we do this with professionalism, with pride, with courtesy, and with excellence. And it's with that vision towards excellence that we are here, and it makes me so proud to be part of this team. Remember, please, as you go forward, your skills, your knowledge, you are part of something greater than yourself, something greater than this department. We are part of the force of good in life. And if you remember that, we will achieve amazing things. So please, as you embark upon this next step in your careers and your journeys, embrace these lessons learned, the friendships you've made, the bonds you've forged, and take those with you as you begin to pay it forward. Because the circle of life goes really fast now. And now you become paramedic, and soon you'll be preceptor, and soon you'll be training officer, and before you know it, you'll be teaching the class. And that's the way things go. And if we didn't believe in you, you wouldn't be here right now. So remember also, the path ahead won't always be easy. There will be challenges. There will be things that will challenge what you know, and situations that challenge the knowledge you've been taught and how you have to apply it in those circumstances. But embrace each day with that same determination and that same compassion that you've had that has brought you here today. Congratulations, Class 10. May your careers be filled with success, growth, and the fulfillment that comes with making a difference in one's lives. Here's to new beginnings and incredible achievements ahead. Congratulations.
So next up, I'm pleased to announce a deviation from our program. I would like to welcome Assistant Director Lyle Evelyn from the U.S. Virgin Islands up to say a couple of words.
Good morning. Greetings to all our dignitaries and everyone else, family members, and its esteemed graduating class of this paramedic program. So on behalf of Director Antonio Stevens for VI FEMS, Governor Albert Bryan, I want to bring greetings and appreciation to this illustrious program. Thank you for taking care of Jillian and Joy for the past year, for embracing them, giving them the knowledge and the wherewithal to come back home and effect EMS in the VI. You know, we appreciate that. And every time I get an email from Robbie and Matt Levy of the challenges and even the issues they're experiencing, I know they're going to make it. Because I know that the program was very vital, and you had good instructors to assist them along the way. So on behalf of everyone back home in the VI, I want to thank you all for allowing us to have Jalen up here. Looking forward to that relationship continuing in the future. So thank you all again.
Thank you, Assistant Director, and again, welcome to our USVI partners. Really exciting. This is such an exciting event, and you've heard it that already 4 different times that part of this is a certification, advanced practice, all those kinds of things. The bigger part of this, I think you've heard, is this is a position of leadership. This is a position of community security and comfort, right? And these are paramedic students taught by paramedics, which when I look around the room, this is the way of things, as Dr. Levy said, where now you're the paramedic, next week you're the training officer, next week you're the educator, next week you're the medical duty officer, and so on and so forth. And there's proof of that in this very room as you look around when Director Weigel, Chief Wallace, and myself have had that gold patch on our sleeves for 30 years. It happens very quickly. You blink and you miss it. Our own Dr. Levy has worn that patch. So this is the community that we build, and this is the onus that we put on these new paramedic students. It's not just patient care. That's this piece of it. It is the day in and day out, but the bigger piece of that is they are leaders going forward from this day forward. So with that, I think we're ready to get to the fun stuff, yeah? Okay. I'd like to invite Dr. Robbie May, who's the primary paramedic instructor for this course, to the podium, and he will he'll say some words, and then we'll start delivering plaques and congratulations.
Good morning. Every paramedic class is different. Every class I've ever taught when I was a high school teacher is different. I didn't realize how different this class would be. I can remember it very clearly. In January of 2022, I was sitting on a ship in Antarctica, and I had made the decision when I left that I was not going to pay attention to email work. I was going to enjoy my time in a place that few people ever get the opportunity to do. And then I had this really stupid idea, and that was to turn on my email and look at my email. And I saw in my inbox I had an email from Dr. Levy. And I should preface that anytime I have an email from Dr. Levy, I'm always like, oh boy, what's coming next? And Dr. Levy said that, hey, I think we're going to have 2 students from the United States Virgin Islands join us for this next paramedic class. And that was definitely a surprise. And it has been an absolute pleasure not only to work with the students from our department, but also join Jalen from the Virgin Islands in the partnership that we have established. I don't have anything on my schedule for the next several weeks, so I'm more than happy to go back with you today when you leave. I want to share a few remarks as we get ready to go into the presentation of the certificates. Paramedic Class 10, 100% first attempt passed on the National Registry Paramedic exam. You've heard this over and over this morning because this is a feat that is a direct result of what these students have put in. We can provide the best paramedic education program in the world, but at the end of the day, they're the ones who decide how much to study and to actually sit down and take the exam. While I have had the honor to serve as the lead instructor and to speak today, the success of the program really is not due to me. It is a testament to the many educators, the paramedics, and the physicians who have put countless hours into these students. I have no problem saying this. Howard County has the best paramedic education team in the state and likely in the nation. We are one of only 25 fire department-based paramedic programs yet in the United States, yet we consistently outperform the 743 other college-based programs. Furthermore, I can tell you that there is no program in this state that has the careful attention and presence from their medical directors throughout the entirety of the course. I can't thank enough all those mentioned on the first page of your program for all the work that they've done. And I encourage you to spend some time looking at the statistics page as well. The requirement and national average for paramedic programs is 1,200 hours. Our paramedic program, what these students have gone through, was 1,906 hours long. I've always told people that while my doctorate was a lot of work and challenged me in many ways, earning my paramedic was certainly the hardest thing that I have ever done. Over the last 19 months, Class 10, you have spent no less than 1,900 hours in the classroom, hospital clinical setting, and in the field. Beyond that, you've spent countless hours outside of class studying. You've spent more time in class, clinicals, and field than any other program in the state, and most of them nationwide. In short, you have dedicated an incredible portion of your life to earning this patch. No one forced you to go on this journey. You'll likely spend less time on an engine and more time on an ambulance. And while much of the station sleeps at 0300, you will be out with a patient. You'll need to complete 60+ hours of continuing education every 2 years. You have an advanced scope of practice that is ever evolving and needs to be continuously practiced and refreshed so you do not cause harm to a patient. The fact that each of you voluntarily decided to become a paramedic, knowing all of this, speaks volumes to your character. The reason for earning your paramedic is unique to each of you, and I'd encourage all of you in the audience to take time to read their biographies in the program. There's a common misunderstanding in EMS, specifically with paramedics, that EMS has been around for a long time. The fact is that the modern EMS system has really only been around for 50 years. And I want to take a few minutes to discuss the history of our profession so everyone in the room is aware. Dr. Peter Saffer worked at Baltimore City Hospital, where he developed mouth-to-mouth resuscitation and paired it with chest compressions, a system that he called BLS and earned him the name of the father of CPR. To prove CPR could save lives, as well as be taught to the general public, he used firefighters from Baltimore City Fire Department, who he sedated and let them stop breathing. Then he had Boy Scouts come in and ventilate them. Chief Claggett has paperwork on that, showing that. I'm not sure what this says about firefighters. He left to Baltimore to join the staff at the University of Pittsburgh Presbyterian Hospital to establish an anesthesiology department. One night, while he was staffing the emergency room, as emergency medicine wasn't a specialty until 1972, the former governor of Pennsylvania, David Lawrence, was rushed in. He had been given a speech in Pittsburgh when he collapsed and went into cardiac arrest. The police rushed him to the hospital, where he succumbed due to a lack of BLS. During the transport, he received no treatment or oxygenation. Shortly after, Dr. Safar was in Chicago for a conference. He got a call that his 11-year-old daughter had suffered a severe asthma attack. He immediately flew home, and he rushed to find her in bed where she was in cardiac arrest. He started CPR and successfully resuscitated her. Unfortunately, she remained in a comatose state with severe brain damage and ultimately died. She didn't get treatment fast enough. These two events gave him a deep desire to see trained EMS clinicians on the streets providing care and quickly transporting patients to the hospital. Dr. Safar partnered with a civil rights activist in Pittsburgh, Jim McCoy, who had founded Freedom House Enterprises in Pittsburgh's historically black neighborhood of the Hill District. Safar already had plans for the EMS system from Baltimore City Fire Department, but it was his goal to do something no other city in the United States had done. Train highly skilled street clinicians, which he called paramedics, that would bring the emergency room to the patient. Safar also believed that transporting patients in hearses or police buggies, etc., was unacceptable. So he worked to personally design the first mobile ICU-style ambulance, a setup that we relatively still use to this day. In 1968, he taught the first paramedic class in the world, training 44 black men hired by Freedom House to serve as the first advanced life support ambulances in the world. Safar wanted to prove that you could take dedicated persons off the street, put them through a rigorous training program, and provide excellent care. Half of the first class were high school dropouts who successfully became paramedics. On July 15th of 1968, the first paramedics in the United States responded to their first call, a woman having a seizure on a Pittsburgh bus. Teaching of the skill of intubation became an extensive process to his paramedic students at Freedom House. John Moon, who would later go on to become deputy chief of Pittsburgh EMS, would be the first paramedic in the world to perform a field intubation in 1975. Ever since that time, paramedics have been intubating patients in cramped, dark bathroom, kneeling into God knows what fluid on the floor, with little light, and right after the patient has just eaten a big meal. It's a feat that many, I think, physicians would struggle to be able to do. Making $2.50 an hour, by the end of the year, Freedom House had responded to over 7,000 calls. At the same time, in Maryland, Dr. R. Adams Cowley was creating a statewide EMS system, the first in the country, as well as a shock trauma unit, thanks to a grant from the United States Army. Under Cowley's leadership, Maryland would lead the way in establishing EMS and a medevac system with the Maryland State Police. But Maryland would look to Pittsburgh for the idea of a paramedic. I want everyone in the room to consider, in the 50 years of modern EMS since its beginning, how many people would have died if it had never come about? Let's say EMS had come about, but a paramedic trained in advanced life support, trained to start IVs, administer medications, intubate patients, decompress chest and tension pneumothorax, identify and electrically correct cardiac arrhythmias, and so much more, had not been around. How many more people would not be alive today if doctors' idea of taking someone off the street, who was highly committed to the lives of their neighbors and training them to be advanced clinicians. I don't know what that number is, and to be frank, it's scary to me to think about what that number possibly could be. In the few decades we've been around, our scope of practice has continuously increased so that we might further our mission of saving lives. I see a bright future where this will continue, where technology will continue to enhance the treatment we can provide our patients, where whole blood, like we're leading the way in Howard County, is utilized on our most sick patients, where ultrasound is utilized to recognize internal bleeding, pulses on patients, and get patients into the OR quicker, where chest tubes are placed in the field, where we perform CPR with things like double sequential defibrillation to increase survival and cardiac arrest, and where we treat individuals and possibly release them in the field. God knows paramedics matter, and the life-saving work of paramedics is absolutely essential. A lot of my friends don't really understand what I do as a paramedic, and I recently started telling them that it was a really simple way to understand what a paramedic is. We're really the Legos of the healthcare system. Think about it. Just like a Lego can transform into anything from a spaceship to a castle, you've been trained to handle everything from minor injuries to life-threatening emergencies with grace and skill. Like Legos, paramedics are highly adaptive. You can click perfectly into place with your fellow first responders, building strong teams, and then stand tall in the face of challenge. And let's not forget, solving a medical mystery is a lot like figuring out which piece goes where in the Lego set. Sometimes it takes patience, creativity, and a bit of humor when you realize that and support and turn that chaos into order, much like the sturdy base of a Lego masterpiece. And just as every Lego set comes with those tiny but crucial pieces you can't afford to lose, your dedication and continuous learning are the key components that make you indispensable. As you prepare to enter the field as newly minted paramedic clinicians, I want to share a few pieces of advice with you that I've learned over the last 22 years that I've spent in EMS. The first is positivity. No matter where you work or volunteer in a profession, you will undoubtedly work with people who have created their own misery and actively work to make others miserable. Everybody laughs in the room because everyone's worked with one. To them, it's just a job. Maybe an easy source of a decent income, and they have no desire to do any more than the basic functions required of their job or to enhance their knowledge and get any better at their job. If you let them, they will suck the energy right from you and the passion that you have for the job right from you. When you combine that with the things that we see on things, the demands that are placed on us, you can easily become broken. If I can give you any advice today, it would be not to let that happen. Surround yourself with like-minded people who are passionate about what they do and they want to improve. You and only you create your own misery or happiness. 22 years later, I absolutely still love this profession. And I still get excited when the tone drops, maybe less so at 3 o'clock in the morning, but hey. And I still care about doing the best that I can for my patients. So much so that at 1800 tonight, I'm going on duty for 48 hours in Garrett County. The second thing that I will tell you is education. Hagerstown Community College has given you an incredible opportunity, and honestly, it's unheard of. They're giving you 41 credits of the paramedic program completely for free. At HCC's current credit cost, that's just over $8,000 worth of education, completely for free, as long as you do your 15 additional credits or the 19 required for your AA degree in paramedicine. Being a hillbilly from Appalachia, let me speak real plain to you right now. You're a darn fool if you do not take up that opportunity. Education is so important. Paramedics will never be paid what we should be paid or stop being seen as less than other types of healthcare clinicians at hospitals until they A, act like professionals, and B, get educated. Don't stop at just your AA degree. Continually work to improve by staying current with the latest research, take up extra educational opportunities that present themselves, and look at every 12-lead EKG when you get your hands on it. When you don't understand one of them, ask a cardiologist, ask a physician in the ER, or ask a experienced paramedic. The third thing that I would tell you is take care of your mind. You're going to continue to see incredibly tragic things. You will see more death and despair than any other profession. There'll be things that will make you angry and things that will make you break down as soon as you get in your car at the end of your shift. We can't escape these things, but we certainly can do things to stay happy and healthy. Don't bury the trauma when you see that or experience that, letting it wreak havoc on you and, worse yet, your family when you go home. Find healthy ways to build your resilience and process the trauma that you see at work, whether it's traveling, exercising, meditation, cooking with friends, volunteering at an animal shelter, singing karaoke, or building Legos. And you know what? As someone who took too long to do it and finally decided to get a therapist, I can tell you that it is completely okay, natural, and will make you feel better. You are incredibly lucky to work in a department who is one of the very few in the nation to have invested in mental health of their personnel. I firmly believe that the hiring of our new behavioral support specialist just a little over a year ago is a game changer and is an example of how this department paves the way for other departments. Utilize that resource, utilize your peer support team, and if you don't want to do either one of those, come to me or anyone else here on staff to help you be the best version of you. All of these things is me reminding you that you've worked incredibly hard and sacrificed so much to get to this place today. Don't throw it away by letting others or your own internal dialogue destroy that. The last thing that I'll say is to take time and have empathy with your patients. Recently, another paramedic told me a story that really hit this home for me. Fresh out of a busy Metro Fire Department academy, he was assigned to one of the busiest fire stations in his jurisdiction. He was excited about all the ambulance calls that he ran. He said he felt like a hero. But then the reality struck that not every call is an emergency. And some people would call for things that were really just downright abuse of EMS services. For those of you in the room who are not in EMS, you may just wonder how many times one person can call 911. Well, the laughter in the room should give you a clue. I can tell you that when you look at the data from some of the largest fire departments in the country, many of them show that 20 to 30% of their calls come from less than 1% of the population in their jurisdiction. Returning to the paramedic story, he remembers that they had one guy that would call every time he needed a beer and cigarettes. Because of the abuse of EMS in this particular department, his fire chief decided to start a new community paramedic initiative. And who did the chief choose? That paramedic. Why him? Because he wrote a memo. Instead, callers calling EMS, they were going to call on them, go to their house and see what solutions they could put into place to help their overall health and have them call 911 less. One of his first at-home patients was someone he called Miss Brenda, who had called the department 13 times in 4 weeks complaining of pain. When they met for the first time, it was at her sister's house, where she had been sleeping on the couch for some time. All her earthly belongings could be found in several Walmart bags around the couch. She was incredibly kind to him, happy that he was there, and introduced him to the whole family. He sat down with her and quickly got to creating solutions like getting an appointment with her doctor, arranging transportation, and checking her medications, which he found tons of in her multiple bags. Well, the medications were so disorganized that he decided he would go through them with her and organize them. He felt leaving quite happy, knowing he had just solved the problem and could go on to save the next patient at the next home. Well, now instead of Miss Brenda calling 911 every day, she only called on the days he was off. Every time she would go to the hospital, she would be sent home with more medications with more generic instructions. This frustrated the paramedic, and he didn't want to give up on her. So he could tell that she was trying to do better. Each time they went through the medication, showing which one she should take when, she would always say that she understood and thanked him. When it continued to be a problem, he finally asked her one day to show him how she took her medications. She opened up every bottle, took one pill from each bottle, and she continued going down the line of the pill bottles. He said, "Hang on. You know you don't take one of everything." She smiled at him, replying, "I know. I break this one in half." And he looked at the bottle, and it said, "Take twice a day." Then the realization hit him. She wasn't taking them as directed because she couldn't read. At that moment, his world came crashing down when he thought, how many people have I labeled as abusers of the system without ever considering what their life was like? How many people have called 911 and got him, the burned out EMS worker who was frustrated that they weren't sick enough for him to do all the things that he was trained to do? He could never have an idea how hard her life had been when he had walked into the door that day. So instead of trying to slow down her and shove down her throat different ideas and solutions, he simply asked Miss Brenda, "What can I do to make your life better?" She had an apartment application in her purse, and he helped her to fill it out. A few weeks later, she had moved off her sister's couch into a new apartment of her own. In the months that he had been working with her, Miss Brenda had gone to the hospital 26 times by ambulance. 6 months after moving into her new apartment, she didn't go to the emergency room one time. She wasn't calling 911 because she wanted firefighters, nurses, or doctors, or paramedics. She just wanted someone who cared. Sometimes you'll have to forget the job title of paramedic and just care enough to learn a little bit about who your patient is. If you can make their life just a little bit better, you might be the hero that they're waiting for. Remember this, the greatest thing we can do with our patients is show compassion, even when they don't show it towards us. This is the greatest skill in your scope of practice. As you go out into the world of paramedics, I don't want you to forget the words on this sign that usually is in our classroom. Extraordinary, compassionate, clinically excellent care. Take responsibility for your actions and be cognizant of the energy you carry. Your words matter, your behaviors matter, our patient and team members matter, and you matter. I'll end the day with an Irish parable. A man arrives at the gates of heaven. St. Peter says to him, "Of course you come in, just show us your scars." Then the man says, "But I have no scars." To which St. Peter replies, "What a pity. Was there nothing worth fighting for?" Congratulations, Class 10. So we're now to the exciting part of the program where I get to stop yammering and we get to present Class 10 with their certificates. I'll invite Chief Winston and Dr. Ball to go in front of our backdrop here, and I'll invite our Program Executive Committee to come to the stage. Director Evelyn, Deputy Chief Claggett, Assistant Chief Leonard, Battalion Chief Smeltzer, Dr. Levy, Dr. Ellett, Mr. Weigel, and Lieutenant Fogarty. Graduates, when I call your name, if you'll come up, shake the hands of the Program Executive Committee, and then when you come down, Chief Winston will hand you your certificate from the table, and then you'll pause for a picture with Chief Winston and Dr. Ball. Our first graduate is Nicole Hodiak. Firefighter Paramedic Hodiak has served as a member of the department since graduating as a part of Class 33 and 2020. She earned her EMT certification in 2019, and she's currently stationed at Station 1 Elk Ridge. Outside of work, she enjoys spending time with her family and in the outdoors. When asked why she decided to become a paramedic, she said, "I wanted to have a greater impact on my patients, but not only doing more for their treatment, but also understand why the interventions were beneficial to them." She would like to thank her family and friends for their support and encouragement throughout the course. Joy Jackson. Paramedic Jackson is currently employed by the United States Virgin Islands Fire and Emergency Medical Services since 2012. She earned a BA in biology from the University of Tampa and her EMT certificate from Hillsborough Community College. Outside of work, she enjoys reading, listening to music, and sunny beach days. When asked why she decided to become a paramedic, she said, "I wanted more. I wanted more knowledge to be able to do more in-depth support and care for patients and give more back to the community that I love and that I live in." She'd like to thank her family, especially her mom, Desiree, and son, Jace, Love City, Inc., and the Howard County Department of Fire and Rescue for affording her this opportunity and experience. Rufin and Gilly. It's going to take me an hour to read this. I'm sorry. Firefighter paramedic Gilly has served as a member of the department since graduating as a part of Class 33 in 2021. He earned his BS in criminology and criminal justice and sociology at the University of Maryland College Park. He joined his local rescue squad and earned his EMT in 2008. His regret was not getting into his county's paramedic program right after becoming an EMT. When this program opened, he decided to take the leap, abandoning a good shift with hilarious shift mates and a great rotation. When asked why he decided to be a paramedic, he responded, "Several reasons, but I can narrow it down to these. Number one, there was 80% of the job that I knew nothing about. 2, I love interacting with people and helping them. 3, I get bored easily if I'm not challenged, and the program has done that. The potential for further growth is endless. He'd like to thank God, his family, and friends for their support, and he especially wants to thank his wife for her patience and support. Lastly, and most importantly, he wants to thank his late father, who truly made him into the man that he is today." Edwin Rodriguez. Firefighter paramedic Rodriguez has served as a member of the department since graduating as a part of Class 32 in 2020. He earned his National Registry EMT certification as a volunteer in Montgomery County in 2019. He's currently assigned to Station 3, West Friendship. Outside of work, he enjoys spending time with his children, playing music, and living an active lifestyle. When he asked why he made the decision to become a paramedic, he said, "To continue to be a positive role model for my children, to help those who can't help themselves." He'd like to thank God, his children, Natasha, Christian, Grayson, and Jackson, and his family and friends who helped to make this possible. Jalen Roper. Firefighter paramedic Roper has served as a member of the United States Virgin Islands Fire and EMS Department since graduating as a part of Class 22-1 in 2022. He earned his EMT certification in 2022. Outside of work, he enjoys watching baseball, going out to eat, and playing or coaching sports. When asked why he decided to become a paramedic, he said, "I wanted to take the next step in providing a higher level of pre-hospital health care for my home." He would like to thank his grandfather for being an amazing mentor and paramedic, and his family for their love and support. Meg Simmers. Firefighter paramedic Meg Simmers has served as a member of the department since graduating as a part of Class 28 in 2014. She's currently stationed at Station 11 Skaggsville and participates in the department's special operations. When asked why she decided to become a paramedic, Meg said, "EMS is a major portion of my job, and I want to be able to give the best care for those who need it." She would like to thank all of her family and friends and shift mates who have given her the support and love that has kept her going and focused. Outside of work, she enjoys spending time with friends and family, traveling, and outdoor adventures. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Paramedic Class 10.
So, it's with great pleasure that I introduce our second deviation from the program. Paramedic Executive Committee, thank you very much for your presence. You may have a seat. I would like to ask Chief Adams and Assistant Director Evelyn and Dr. Ellett to come up to the photo booth to present their plaques from the USVI to Joy and Jalen. Jalen Roper. All right, one more big round for the graduates, paramedics. Okay, so there's been plenty of inspirational chatter and history from some folks that have been around a long time, but it's equally important, I think, to hear from the folks that lived it. So we are going to invite to the podium now class speaker and valedictorian, firefighter paramedic Nicole Hodiak.
When Robbie told me that I had to write a speech, I was less than enthusiastic. As the class knows, I prefer to sit in the back and be invisible and not be heard. They like to tell me that I just mumble all the time. When he told me that I could use ChatGPT, I said game on, and so we're going to figure out together what it said. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed instructors, beloved family and friends, and my fellow graduates of Paramedic Class 10. Today marks a milestone in our careers. We sit here ready to give up our engine time. Okay, I tweaked it some. In all seriousness, we sit here not just as classmates, as friends that we shared in the trials and triumphs of our journey. We have laughed together, studied together, and supported one another in the classroom as well as in our personal lives. On behalf of Class 10, first and foremost, our deepest gratitude goes to our incredible instructors and the whole of the Education and Training Bureau. Your dedication to teaching us and your unwavering belief in our potential have been the foundation to our success. Robbie, thank you for not only teaching, but putting up with us day to day, and for building this incredible program. Bonus points for sharing our anxiety and taking National Registry with us yesterday. We promise not to throw all this knowledge out with the bathwater as we progress with our careers. Lieutenant Fogarty, thank you for helping us navigate the clinical world and also being our emotional support. You kept us sane. To all of the support instructors, thank you for sharing your expertise in various areas throughout the program. To our preceptors, you have been our guides, mentors, and sources of inspiration. You taught us how to use what we learned in real life on real patients and bridge the gap from the classroom to the real world. You demonstrated and cultivated in us the values of compassion, resilience, and excellence in patient care. For this, we thank you from the depths of our hearts. To our families and friends, your support has been invaluable. You have cheered us on, lifted us up, and kept us going when we questioned if this was all worth it. We owe much of our success to you and your encouragement and your love. To my fellow graduates, we have chosen this path that is not easy but deeply rewarding. I joke about engine time, but we each knew what we would be giving up in exchange for that. The chance to make a difference in our patients and their lives, as well as their families, and to make a greater impact in the surrounding environment. Our journey has been one of growth, not just in our capabilities, but in our character. We have learned the importance of teamwork, the power of empathy, and the strength found in perseverance. And perseverance may be one of the more apt descriptions for our class. As we step into our new roles, let us carry forward the lessons that we have learned here. Let us remember that every patient we encounter is someone's loved one, deserving of our best care. And let us strive to continue learning, growing, and pushing the boundaries that we can achieve. So, congratulations. We will now be celebrating, even though some of us are working tomorrow. And now I invite my classmates up to the stage to recite the paramedic pledge. That would be you. I swear to fulfill, to the best of my ability, this pledge that binds together my curiosity, compassion, and humility with my duty as a paramedic. I recognize that I do not stand alone, but alongside all those who share my professional purpose. Together we walk proudly in the footsteps of those whose endeavors have been developed for our profession.
And yet, we remain inquisitive, carving our own path in pursuit of progress toward the betterment of the communities we serve.
Though we are adaptable and operate with autonomy, we do not work in isolation, conscious that our very name means that we work alongside others. Our complex and austere experiences give us insight. Using this wisdom, we do everything reasonable within the boundaries of what is ethical and lawful to benefit those in our care.
We tread with care in all matters of life, including death, creating enough proximity to afford empathy, yet preserving enough distance to maintain a professional boundary. We take pride in the privilege of our position. We seek to protect the rights, interests, and dignity of our fellow humans because it is our role to advocate for all people, regardless of how their values may differ from or echo our own.
Although we are altruistic, we also accept our duty to be compassionate to ourselves because we are mindful that the virtues that we strive to uphold may at times weigh heavily upon us. And if we are true to ourselves and to this pledge, then let us know as a profession that acts with integrity, equanimity, and in the face of challenge and complexity.
Our ethos emerges from our experiences, is molded by our curiosity, moderated by our humility, and animated by our compassion. We are paramedics. Save the best for us, man. That's what you got here.
Well, I'll start out by saying congratulations to Paramedic Class 10. All of us in this room who are paramedics know the rigorous amount of work that you've had to put in and the amount of time that you've had to put in to be successful in this program. As Dr. May said, I've been a paramedic now for 29 years, a continuous licensed paramedic, and I can tell you of all the educational opportunities that I've had, I know the work that you've put in, and by far it's the most challenging. So again, I want to say congratulations to Paramedic Class 10. So today is your day. I'm going to leave you with a few remarks. Nicole, Meg, Ruffin, Edwin, Joy, and Jalen. Congratulations on successfully completing this rigorous 19-month program. Your achievement is truly commendable, reflecting the dedication required to balance your studies, personal lives, and overcome various challenges. As you embark on your noble journey as paramedics, remember this: the patient you care for presents an opportunity to make a profound difference in their life each and every day. I want to extend my deepest gratitude to Dr. May, our esteemed medical directors, and the entire EMS training staff here at the Public Safety Training Facility for their unwavering commitment to excellence in preparing the future generations of EMS clinicians. I love that new term. When I started, we were providers, now we're clinicians. Your hard work and dedication have truly shaped these graduates into skilled professionals that they will become in the future and today. To the families, friends, and colleagues of each graduate, I want to express my heartfelt thank you for your steadfast support. We recognize that their journey would not have been possible without your love, encouragement, and sacrifices. And finally, once again, to Paramedic Class 10, I'll leave you with this. Pardon me, my voice has been a little off the last week. Today marks the beginning of your career as paramedics, where compassion meets courage. Just remember that, where compassion meets courage, and I think Dr. May talked about that. Your dedication to excellence and compassion will not only guide you through every emergency you face, but it will also inspire you and everyone around you. Remember, each interaction is an opportunity to make a difference in someone's life and a positive impact. May you continue to excel in your commitment to saving lives and making a difference in your respective communities here in Howard County, as well as the U.S. Virgin Islands. Again, I want to say congratulations. Job well done.
Okay, and with that, I am officially the last person standing between you all and many, many hugs, handshakes, and I think there's cake. So this concludes the graduation ceremony for Paramedic Class 10. Go forth and do good.